Oh, very quick intro to the pre-show.
Dumped us right in.
That's right.
All right, cool. Let me hit retweet so everybody knows to come hang out with Chris and Kyle here on a Thursday live stream without Joe. You know what I've realized now, Chris?
Yes.
I am obligated to take something off next week because both you and Joe took time off this week.
I think phrasing it that I took time off is a little disingenuous. I think it's just a little disingenuous.
Well,
but you are free. You are free to take time off. Yes,
there you go.
Irrespective of what I just said.
I don't know if we get a good enough live stream tonight, I won't take off next week.
See if we can. We can.
But that's completely dependent upon everybody else watching. It's not dependent upon you. It's on the people.
Picks, you know.
Sam Joe is not here. I apologize.
Not here. Sorry.
Charles, Braden, Michael, Jalen, what's up, guys? Rahul, my guy. Friend of the pod, as the other Draft Network podcast says from time to time. Friend of the pod.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's up?
You do a lot of writing in terms of articles for the site and scouting reports and all that kind of stuff.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, it's a fun part of your job. Is there a word that no matter what, you just will never spell right the first time? Like it just won't happen, no matter how many times you use it. Because I used the word today, and I went down this rabbit hole of like, why is this the word that I always get wrong?
What word is it? If you don't mind me asking.
The word is ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Like the word ridiculous is the one that.
Oh no, I'm saying it is ridiculous. That ridiculous is the word that you can't spell right.
Sam, I don't. Okay, this is a two-parter here. I don't complain about waking up early. I think if you can, the guys will attest to this, and only Kyle's here, and Kyle will definitely troll me. But when we do our early recordings, I am normally jovial. I am normally, for it being 5 a.m, I am normally
for it being 5 a.m, you're typically in pretty good shape. I'm in
high spirits. Now, the reason I was not on the show today, and unfortunately will not be on the show tomorrow, is because the guys recorded at 3 a.m. my time this morning.
Imagine not being dedicated to your craft enough to get up at 3 a.m.
And this is I'm not BSing here in the pre-show. I woke up in the middle of the night and it was 2:34, and I looked at my phone and I went,
"Should I do it?"
I said out loud, "Should I do this?" And it was a brief moment. It was about 3 seconds where I considered it, and then I just rolled back over. So
yeah, I did. That was probably a good call on your point. I don't have a word that I consistently spell wrong, but I have words that like I spell right, but they look wrong to me, and I get confused.
Okay, that's fair. I do that too.
And like, is this really how this word is spelled? And then it's like, yes, it is. That looks weird. And then like another 10 times will go by, and I won't think anything of it. And then the 11th time I'll use it again, and I'm like, that looks wrong, but it's still right.
Yeah. I have that happen as well. Just to let everyone know, a little pre-show wee woo. Trey Turner, Pittsburgh Steelers, 1-year deal, according to his agent Drew Rosenhaus, and then Schefter has also tweeted it, and so has Ian Rappaport. So we have that
very good
to discuss as well. Vontel, I see your question. I think we're going to probably get to that at some point in the show, but it is my responsibility to hit this fancy little video button to get the show started.
Let's go. What's better than this? No, I'm not doing it.
I didn't think you were going to do it. That's why when you did it,
no, thank you. What's up, guys? Kyle, Chris, here on the Draft Dudes live stream. Sans Mr. Joe Marino, as he mentioned last time we spoke about the Thursday live stream, he's picking his brother up from the airport. Very exciting time for him, getting back together with some family. So he's off this evening. So you're stuck with these two schleps right here, and Kyle and Chris. And Chris, what is this formally? Is this like another pseudo takes on takes edition here?
It is titled Takes on Takes, episode 136. That is what I have done. But please, ladies and gentlemen, you have the free-for-all version of the pod on Friday. think of this as the free-for-all version of the live stream. Whatever you want in there.
Go ahead and bring it out. I saw some really good questions already. What Olympic sport we thought we would medal in?
Yeah, so now, Vontel, I have one clarification question. Am I only allowed to pick from Summer Olympic sports because it's the Summer Olympics? I assume the answer to this is yes, and this feels like cheating, but I'm going to pick a team sport so that my teammates can carry me to a medal.
See, I would think the exact opposite. I would be a complete liability in a team sport at the Olympic level.
No, because see, if I'm this is I think a very nice way to look at this. What if I'm on the soccer team, but I never play and we win a medal?
Then you wouldn't be on the soccer team. You have to play. That's the whole point.
So I have to play.
Yeah, you have to partake in the event.
I still think, and Sam's backing me up in the comments, I still think I'm taking soccer because even if I'm bad, I got 10 other teammates out there that can help me out.
Okay, hold on.
What are you going to pick? Archery? What are you going to?
You forget I am an Eagle Scout and I do have my archery merit badge.
Okay, never mind. I take that back. Are you going to play table tennis?
No, I suck at table tennis.
Okay, so there you go. So Dion, curling, and other people have mentioned this, but I don't know if I'm allowed to pick a winter sport.
Because he said only summer.
Right.
So
if it was a winter sport, I think I would pick curling. Again, the team factor that I have other people on my team that can help carry me. I believe Kyle is looking for the...
I am actively looking at the list of Olympic sports for the summertime, and I'm not winning any of these. Just be completely honest. So I'm going to say archery.
So you're going with archery. You're going into...
Yeah, I'll go with archery. Yeah.
This take, very interesting from Alec that I want to put up here. The Falcons lost like 4 to 5 games with a 90-plus win chance in the fourth quarter at some point last year. New coach is that difference, and they get back to 8 games. I'm assuming you mean 8 wins. What did we have them in the projections?
We didn't have an 8. I guess my question is, are they a better football team than they were last year? And I understand the value of coaching and getting somebody else in there who, from a situational perspective, will protect you from a lot of the late game collapses. That's a real thing. Bad coaching can lead to, in a 1-score game in which 3 plays are going to be the difference. If you have bad coaching, you're going to lose out on 2 or 3 of those critical plays, and you're going to lose a football game. But I don't think that they're a better team right now than they were last year from a talent perspective, and they were problematic last year.
So it's twofold for me, right? Because I have concerns about offensively what the post-Julio Jones era is going to look like. Yes, they add in Kyle Pitts, and now Calvin Ridley can really take on that number 1 receiving role, but they need to establish the run. They need to have that running game element. And I thought the defense was better in the second half of last year. I know they got a bad rap early, and rightfully so, considering some of the games that they gave away, but it was better in the second half. But I mean, Kyle, I pulled it up just because I thought it was this low. You guys had them going 4-13. So and I didn't feel like in real time when we got to 4-13, I didn't feel like we were totally off base there.
No, I think their ceiling is 6 or 7 if everything went right. I'm a little skeptical of the talent at this point in time. So obviously losing Julio Jones hurts a lot, and I understand he wasn't Julio last year, but attrition happens too. And you look at the defensive side of the football for them and the defensive talent that they have, and they don't have a lot of top flight talent. And then on top of that, they don't have a lot of depth behind it. So that's a tough way to make a living.
Right. This question from Cam I thought was interesting. I think I know what Kyle's answer is going to be. It's going to be nobody because he's not allowed to like anybody that's not a Miami Dolphin.
That's not true.
Favorite NFL player of all time that didn't play for your favorite team?
Man, I don't know if I would classify him as my favorite player of all time that didn't play for Miami, but the J.J. Watt early 2010s, that stretch of play where he was like what Aaron Donald is now. I was like 18 to 22 or whatever during that stretch, and it was just like that was when I was really engrossing myself in the game and watching JJ where they'd use him down on the goal line on offense and he's all over the place and just unstoppable, right? And it was like this dude was, I believe he was a 2-star, and he ended up bulking himself up, and he's a true technician of the position, and it was my favorite position to watch and scout and rush the pass and all that kind of stuff. So I think I would classify J.J. Watt, that dominant stretch for him was really what stands out to me when I think about a rooting interest that I had that was a non-Miami rooting interest.
Yeah, I can't think of one that immediately comes to my mind just because, I spend more time watching non-Jets football than I do Jets football just because of how bad it has been. But it would probably be a quarterback just because, I've never had a good quarterback. I just don't know what that's like.
You always wonder what that would be like.
Yeah, I
right?
just, it's, I love watching Aaron Rodgers play because it's like, oh, that's nice. And I could say the answer is Tom Brady because I really enjoy Tom Brady, but the chat would absolutely, light me up for liking somebody who played for the Patriots. Right. So, I don't want to do that either.
Rodgers is a good answer.
Yeah, that's probably who it would be. This question from Eric, is there another reason other than money for the NFL to move the combine? Seems like if you aren't LA, New York, Miami, or Dallas, you're screwed. And Eric, the only thing I would say to that is look where they're doing the draft. I mean, look, they're doing the draft in Kansas City. They're doing the draft in Cleveland. They've done the draft in Nashville. They're not just going to go. They're not going big four with the draft. The NFL views their entire product as an entertainment product that can be plopped into any city in the United States and worldwide and be successful. And there is little evidence to prove that they are wrong in that assertion.
They're absolutely right.
So I think they actually look at it as we can make money no matter where we take this, so we will take it to other places. But you are correct that the only reason why they would move the combine is because it makes them a ton of money.
Correct. Yeah, and that's it's almost like what before obviously the pandemic, but like WWE with their pay-per-views and their live shows, and they're all over the place, and they draw everywhere they go. And the NFL, you're going to have 2 hallmark off-season events. I'm waiting for them to do something for the opening bell of free agency, like the stock market, and they have something there, and they come out and they ring the bell, and everybody comes up and starts announcing high school recruit declaration video style, what team they're signing with. It's so over the top, but could you not see them trying to do something like that down the line, and just there is no off season, and you really try and pump it up?
I mean, at the end of the day, I know everyone, NFL is a sport and we all love it, but at the end of the day, the NFL is a content production company. That's what they do. They produce content and they make a ton of money off of it. And their ways of producing content are these NFL games all throughout the year, but they now recognize the combine is content for them, and so is the draft. And if they can not only dip their hands in the TV bucket, but also in the live attendance bucket from all of the money that they can get in by taking over a city for a week or two, they will do that. Now, you mentioned wrestling.
Think about the volume that moved. Was it Nashville?
Yes.
Think about the volume that they moved in Nashville, because we linked up. We were both down there in Nashville, and how many hundreds of thousands of people did they say came to Nashville for the draft that weekend? It was
Kyle,
out of this world.
At the end of night, I think it was the end of night 2, I walked around for a little bit downtown, on Broadway. I was stunned at the amount of people that were just hanging out for the draft.
You would have thought it was a Super Bowl parade.
Yep. It felt as if it was like the pregame to a Super Bowl, and people were just milling about, getting ready to go to the game. It was shocking to me. So they're going to replicate that anywhere. You mentioned wrestling. Rahul asked this question of me.
Shub Daddy.
Yeah,
I'm calling you Shub Daddy.
Okay. It would be AEW, Rahul. I'm not a Raw or SmackDown guy, so it would be AEW. This take from Andrew: Le'Veon Bell will not play another down in the National Football League.
This is hot. This is very hot, but I don't hate it.
You don't think some team signs him? I mean, Todd Gurley's still getting opportunities, Kyle.
But Lev doesn't need the money. And Lev's burned a couple bridges now, and Lev seems very particular about where he wants to go. I could see him not subjecting himself to it if he doesn't feel like it's worth his time.
Okay. I don't.
I'm not.
I can.
Is it a long shot to be realistic? Yes, but I'm not going to completely dismiss it.
I will say everyone has brought some great takes tonight. There's some good ones that I'm trying to scroll through, and mind me, I am now actively participating and getting the takes. So I now understand Kyle's struggles all those years. Takes on takes. Do you agree with Chris Sims that Hurts isn't a top 40 quarterback heading into the 2021 season? Where would you slot him? As an Eagles fan, I'd rank him around Locke and Tua. I didn't see the Tua part of the take, Kyle, so I apologize. I disagree strongly with that.
No comment. I would probably make an effort to get the 32 starting quarterbacks on a top 40 list. Can we genuinely say that there's 8 backup? We don't even have 32 quality quarterbacks. You mean to tell me a quarter of the league has a higher quality backup than the 32nd place team's starter? It's just from a logistics and a number standpoint for me, that's where I have a hard time with that.
Kyle, I can think of 2 teams right now whose backups I would take over Jalen Hurts.
That's okay. So 2.
So I have 3 teams now that I can think of.
You need another 6 to get Jalen Hurts off the list.
That's fair. Top 40 is a little.
It's just a number. It's a numbers game.
Top 40 is a little bit of a stretch for me, but if the idea of this take is that Jalen Hurts isn't one of the top 25 starting quarterbacks in the National Football League, I would largely tend to agree with that take. I'm not a huge fan of Jalen Hurts this season and beyond. This is interesting, Kyle. Look who's made an appearance into this stream.
Miss Lorraine.
Which Panthers receiver will have more yards this season, DJ Moore or Robbie Anderson?
The better one, DJ Moore. Period.
My heart stopped for a second because I thought you were going to say Robbie Anderson.
No, there is a right answer here.
There
is. DJ Moore.
Yes, it is DJ Moore.
Did you know DJ Moore? I saw this. It was FTN, I think it was, who put this out. DJ Moore had like the 2nd or 3rd highest end zone target share of any receiver in football last year.
Yeah, DJ Moore, I think, is reaching that point of being underrated strongly because of where he plays in the quarterback situation.
Well, and it's because he had 4 touchdowns last year, right? But like he had 35% of passing targets for Carolina last year that were targeted in the end zone. He had 35% for the season. Still only managed to have 4 touchdowns. Right. But like law of averages says, if he's getting that, he's going to end up eventually scoring more touchdowns, and it's going to help equal out his perception.
Avontel, look away from the screen. Take from Charles. The Jags win more games than Arizona. Just because I know you're going to ask, we had the Cardinals going 8-9, and we had the Jags going 3-14.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of I guess your pathway to that is the AFC South is down. Perceived to be down.
And
the NFC North.
I think it's a combo, right? I think it's the AFC South is down, and maybe Tennessee and Indy aren't what we think they are. And the AFC South is more of what the NFC East was last year. And the NFC West is those 3 teams that we talk about a lot, Seahawks, San Francisco, and LA, are really good. And the second half Cardinals are actually what the Cardinals are.
Right.
And I think that's a recipe to get there, but I think that's making a lot of assumptions that I'm not comfortable with on June 24th.
Particularly about Jacksonville. First-year coaching staff, a lot of new players. Like, that's just a lot of moving parts in a division that, while I don't think they have, like, blow-you-away good all-around football teams, Tennessee's offense is obviously very daunting now that they brought in Julio Jones on top of everything else that they had. Indianapolis has a lot of depth, but they don't have a lot of top flight talent on their roster. But I still think they're both very sturdy football teams. So I'll sell that.
Let's take from Sean. Lorenzo Carter and Azeez Ojulari combined for at least 15 sacks this year, with Azeez being top 3 in defensive rookie of the year.
I'm out.
Wow, you're quickly out. You didn't even give this.
I wasn't big on Azeez in the
No, that's fair. That's fair.
So I think there's a lot of good defensive talent in this year's class that, when you reviewed it, went to spots that should allow them to contribute and be prominent contributors very early on. And while I understand they need pass rush help on the outside, I don't know if his current pass rush repertoire is going to allow him to make that kind of impact in year 1.
Let's take from Cam. And this allows us to have a larger conversation about the news of the day. The Broncos are the biggest beneficiaries of the new alternate helmet rule in 2022. And
that's false. False. else.
Yeah, I think I'm out on this take just because I think there are a ton of other options. But I think finally the NFL changed their tune on this, and they're now going to allow these teams to use their alternate helmets. In years past, it had been this standard, and they cited a safety issue behind it. But man, I think I agree. I don't think it was that at all.
You're the NFL. You can't size guys for two separate helmets.
Right?
Come on.
I've seen people talk about the Tampa throwback ones, and I think those will be a lot of fun.
The Creamsicle Bucks are my number one choice. The Kelly Green Eagles are another very good choice.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other ones that would be really fun.
I mean, the Denver ones are awesome with the navy blue. Is it navy royal blue?
Mm-hmm.
D with the horse coming out of it. Those are definitely prime. I mean, they're very, very nice. But I would pick Chris. What do you think about early 90s Jets throwback?
I would be a big fan of that. I would be a big fan of them going to those. I think
I don't know why they're not using those, to be honest with you.
I am one of the few who is not against their current scheme, jersey wise. I know it's not popular. I like them now, but yes, I think if you do that, and I think if they were to go, as Jalen mentioned, you go New York Titans stuff, and you can get the New York Titans helmets. I think those would be pretty cool. As well. I saw a take that was interesting. This one from Alex, and there have been, I can't tell you how many takes that we've seen over the last couple of weeks that center around this cornerback class in 2022. Booth will be the top cornerback prospect on TDN's board come next April. And I know Kyle is frantically pulling up the board. I don't have it in front of me.
I could tell you that Booth is, as things currently stand, a top 15 player for our group at this point in the process. And we've done about 300 evaluations at this point in time. So Booth's going to be very highly regarded for us. And it's the strongest position group based off what we've eval between Booth and Stingley and Elam and a bunch of other guys. I would not rule it out. I'll just say that.
Just take from R. Fritz. With the 17-game season, the first single season record to be broken will be the sack record. I mean, has anybody gotten who's been the closest?
I mean, we had a couple years. Chandler Jones and who had 20 and a half? Was it Donald had 20 and a half and Chandler Jones had 19 and a half the same year?
Let me check on this. I believe you're correct, but I want to be accurate in this.
Didn't Shaq Barrett just have like 19 2 years ago or something like that?
And that's Strahan is 22 and a half, correct?
I believe so.
So you're still a 3 sack plus performance away from breaking the record. And so to say that that's the one that's going to be broken first.
Yeah, no, I would put money on the passing yardage.
Yeah. I mean, the rushing numbers probably in play with the talent of back that we have right now. Do you not? I mean, I'm looking at Aaron Donald. He had 20 and a half in 2018, led the league.
And I'm pretty sure Chandler Jones was like 1 sack behind him that year. And the chat obviously shouting out Justin Houston had 22 like 5 or 6 years ago.
But this is why I'm asking, because I'm trying to think of in recent memory how close we got.
Oh, we've been very close.
2017 for Chandler, he had 17 sacks. He had 19 in 2019.
Okay, so 19 was the year I was thinking of. Somebody just barely beat him out for the sack title.
Yeah, he was not the season leader that year. Yeah, but I'm not trying to poo-poo what Chad is bringing up.
It's a fly.
But
Sorry.
that's 7 years ago to get somebody that close. Right? I mean,
if I kill this fly with this bare hand right now,
okay,
I'm going to be insufferable for the final minutes of the show.
Great.
I didn't get him.
Didn't get him. Okay.
I didn't get him twice.
Do you know? Sorry. Okay, but is he in sight now?
He's buzzing around my head and stuff. But okay, I'm going to try and dial in here. We're going to finish strong. We got about 10 minutes.
All right. So you mentioned Aaron Donald. I didn't want to put this up because I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole. But Owen says Aaron Donald is the best defensive player of all time, or is giving it as a take. I don't know if it's necessarily his official position on the matter.
If he maintains his longevity, he's going to have a really good case to be made for it.
Let me look at it. Let me just pull up his numbers in front of me.
I'm pretty sure he's at like 98 career sacks already, and he was drafted in 2014.
If the margin of error is 14 sacks, yes, he is at 85.5 sacks.
Oh, okay.
In his career.
But
he's had 4 straight double-digit sack seasons. And in his last 4 seasons has had 57.5 sacks. But the first name I thought of is the name that Sam put out there. I think this conversation is LT. Like that's just where it starts.
No respect for the all-time sack leaders? Because it ain't LT.
No, I know.
Reggie, I might go Reggie White, and maybe it's just because I'm old enough to remember Reggie White. Oh, no, Andrew.
You want me to put this up?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and roast me.
Jordan Love will get more starts than Kyle will get killing flies.
I am going to get this fly before the end of the show.
So I'll be honest. I can't see him in your screen. I'm not calling you a liar or anything. I just haven't seen him bother you throughout the show.
Because he's been on my leg. But
okay.
When I hold his dead carcass up here to end the show,
that's going to be.
You'll know.
Some good content. Yeah, that'll be absolutely.
Keep asking me questions. Go ahead.
And let me see what else I can find here. That I have to go a little bit. Cam, this is interesting here. Mike Davis will be a top 10 player in all-purpose yards this year.
It feels like he's finally going to have the opportunity, doesn't it?
It does, but I also think that people are clouding their ability to see this properly because Mike Davis was good early when he took over from McCaffrey, but he kind of petered out towards the end there. So can he do it over a now 17-game season?
That's always been the big block for him. So what do we think all-purpose yards? Well, all-purpose yards is kind of tricky too because you got return yardage in there.
Let me look at last year and see who got there.
Yeah, I'd like to know what the cutoff is for that to know what our expectations, knowing full well we have a 17th game as well.
All-purpose yards. Here were your top 10, and I won't bore everybody, but here are your top 10. Derrick Henry 1, Dalvin Cook 2, Alvin Kamara 3, Stephon Diggs 4, David Montgomery 5, Jonathan Taylor 6, Aaron Jones 7, Travis Kelce 8, James Robinson 9, DeAndre Hopkins 10. And 10 was 1,400.
Okay, so you're going to say Mike Davis is going to get a combined 1,500 plus yards. I'm selling.
Yeah, I'm selling on this as well.
I'm out.
I'm
out.
Oh, Eric. Saquon Barkley won't get a second contract with New York.
I have a hard time with this, and it's because the only way this doesn't happen is if Gettleman gets fired, right? And so even then, it's going to be a long shot for that to not materialize unless he gets hurt again this year and completely bombs.
New general manager comes in, doesn't feel comfortable having the first thing that he does be a new big-time contract for Saquon Barkley. I can see it.
I mean, that's the pathway, but I would definitely take him getting the deal over him getting passed over. Personally.
Well, they're going to have to, at the end of this year, they're going to have to make the Daniel Jones decision as well, right? Because this will be year 3. And then the contract.
17. No, it's 19, 20, 21.
This will be at the end of year 3. So they'll have to at least explore that. They don't have to necessarily, because I thought for sure that the group of Lamar, Josh Allen, Baker, and all these guys would have gotten paid already by this point, and they haven't.
Well, that's where did I was just listening to something on this where they're starting. All 3 are expected to get paid. Baker might get paid first, and if Cleveland's smart, they will pay Baker first.
So they can kind of set the market.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want Mayfield going into this year, once again, leading Cleveland to double-digit wins, getting another playoff win for a team that hasn't had one since, 1994 was the last time they had a playoff win. You don't want him having 2 years of that and then saying, okay, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson just got $40 million apiece. I've done for Cleveland what you couldn't have done in 30 years. Let's pay up and let's talk money. You better get that done now. I would rather set the market. I'm always going to be in favor of teams that set the market.
And I also think that, where these teams are at in terms of their win cycles and their what they're trying to do. The quicker you can get a quarterback under a contract, the quicker you know what your number is going to look like in future years, so you can.
Right.
The more information you have, the better you are going to be in terms of being able to construct a roster that can win. Because it is my position, and it will always be my position, that the moment you pay the quarterback, you are basically putting a lock on the door and saying, this is the team we're going to battle with for the next 3 to 5 years. And that's a tough thing to do. So I think the quicker you can get that number locked in to give you the wiggle room to be able to make other moves is important. Because, again, like you said, the moment one of these guys gets paid, the next guy's going to be like, well, you have to at least match that, if not beat it.
Right.
If you're going to want me to extend. This take from Halil's Real Football Talk, I think, will close us out here. Just listen to the perfect wide receiver pod earlier, and Calvin Ridley may not have made the list for anything, but he may be the most balanced and pure wide receiver since 2018.
Most balanced? I can buy that. I can get behind that. He did a lot of things really, really well. And obviously you saw his potential materialize last year in the way that he really emerged as a pro player. And without Julio Jones this season, you would only assume that's going to get more and more dynamic, and you're going to see an even better version of Calvin Ridley. So I'm excited to see what he looks like this year without Julio, when he's charged with being the number one and the focal piece. So I think this is a fair, reasonable, sound talk.
I'll tell you what,
from Julio.
I pulled up the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And I tried to look at where maybe we could replace to put Calvin Ridley on there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
That's correct. Yeah.
Because it is probably the toughest position to replace.
I regret to inform you, this fly heard me talking shit, and he bounced.
He left. He's out of here.
He said, see you later. I think it's the wind picked up a little bit.
And he's just out of there?
I guess. I don't know. But no, he's gone. No,
okay, all right.
No.
Okay.
I got a little excited. It was
that's why I paused for you there.
All right, so I guess we're done, right? 8:00.
There you go.
Flew by.
That's right.
Did we get any more takes from Lorraine or Joe?
I didn't see any Joe takes or Lorraine takes.
Imagine.
I did not see any of them. I'm surprised we just got the one that we did.
It was good for her to pop in, though. I was glad she popped in.
We appreciate it, yes.
Cam, any takes on Quinn Ewers? I do not. Trevor had a chance to interview him at the QB retreat. The fly did exist.
It's a good take, Ross. It is a good take.
And Chris, if I sit out here for an extended period of time after this is done and I manage to kill him,
I'm going to get a picture.
I'm texting you a picture,
that's fine.
And then we can confirm it.
All right, let's close with this then. Best city to put an NFL team, but you got to remove a team.
I mean, is Jacksonville the softest market?
I mean, that's the team you're going to remove, unfortunately.
The state's already got 2 of the teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm giving a team to – I don't want to give a team to San Antonio.
That was going to be the city I was going to suggest.
No, I don't. Texas has enough teams.
All right. That will give them, what, 3?
They got Houston and Dallas.
That's right. So they would give them 3. Okay. Just make sure my math is good there. Draft dudes do math. Somebody suggested Portland.
Portland's
it's a little too close to Seattle for me.
Okay.
I mean, St. Louis, do we give them the Rams back? They have to come up with a different name, but
oh, there he is.
Oh boy.
I'm probably giving it to St. Louis. Yes. I'm gonna get this thing. I'm gonna get it.
All right, guys. I think that's gonna do it.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for us here on the Draft Dudes live stream, brought to you by our friends at Mighty Swell. As always, we appreciate you guys taking some time out of your Thursday evening to hang out with Chris and myself, and typically Joe, but not today. But cheers. Have a great weekend. Kyle Krabs, Chris Schubert. Thanks for watching the Draft Dudes live stream. Make sure you check out the podcast tomorrow.